It is the 15th of March, 44 BC. Julius Caesar is walking through the doors of the Curia of Pompey, a temporary gathering point for the Roman Senate while their usual home is under renovation. He is currently the most powerful man in the Republic, a military genius who conquered Gaul and won a 4-year civil war. He has recently been named dictator for life. But the venue is a physical bottleneck. The Curia sits at the edge of the portico of Pompey, with no direct access to side streets. Caesar's protection is also neutralized. His co-consul, Mark Antony, is pulled aside outside, leaving the dictator to enter alone. Inside, Caesar takes his seat on a golden ceremonial chair. He is unarmed and outnumbered, surrounded by senators who have spent months meeting in secret to plan this moment. A man whose armies conquered nations has walked into a trap engineered by his own peers. The conspiracy was driven by a historical fear. 5 centuries earlier, the Roman people had overthrown a line of tyrannical kings, and the conservative aristocracy vowed that no monarch would ever rule Rome again. Caesar appeared to be breaking that vow. He began wearing royal garments, sat on a custom golden chair during sessions, and even had his birth month renamed to Julius. This silver coin from the era shows Caesar's wreathed profile. While Roman tradition avoided such displays, Caesar minted currency bearing his own likeness, a gesture traditionally reserved for monarchs. The assassins avoided a public attack on a street like the Via Sacra. They needed the privacy of a Senate session, where Caesar's intimidating friends and the Roman public couldn't intervene. Because weapons were prohibited inside the building, the conspirators smuggled their daggers inside wooden boxes normally used for carrying writing tablets. Caesar's own policy of mercy gave the assassins the proximity they needed. He had pardoned many of his former enemies from the Civil War, promoting them to the very positions that allowed them to stand within inches of him today. He ignored weeks of mounting warnings. A month earlier, a fortune teller named Sparina found that a sacrificed animal was missing its heart, and when he returned the next day, another sacrifice was missing part of its liver. On the night before the meeting, the windows of Caesar's bedchamber flew open as his wife Calpurnia tossed in her sleep. She woke begging him not to attend the Senate, claiming she'd seen a vision of his lifeless, bloodied corpse. Caesar nearly stayed home until a trusted friend named Decimus Brutus arrived. He appealed to Caesar's ego, asking if the dictator of Rome really wanted to cancel a session based on a bad dream. As he walked toward the Curia, a stranger thrust a scroll into his hand that reportedly contained details of the entire plot. Caesar did not read it. Inside the building, Senator Cimber approaches Caesar, claiming to request a pardon for his brother. He suddenly reaches out and tears Caesar's toga down to reveal his tunic. Senator Casca strikes the first blow with a dagger. Caesar spins around, retaliating with only a writing pen as the rest of the conspirators rise from their benches. He is stabbed 23 times, with Marcus Brutus delivering a final, humiliating blow to the groin amid the frenzy. The man who outmaneuvered every military rival on the continent fell to a trap built on his own confidence and a refusal to acknowledge the danger hiding in plain sight. Caesar collapsed and died at the base of a statue of Pompey the Great, the very rival he had defeated in the Civil War, and whose monuments he had insisted on keeping as a sign of grace. The assassins stood back, convinced they had just saved the Roman Republic from tyranny and restored the old order. Instead, the assassination created an immediate power vacuum, triggering a decade of catastrophic civil war across the entire Republic. Caesar's heir, Octavian, formed an alliance to hunt down the men who had murdered his father and crush all opposition. Octavian did not repeat Caesar's mistakes. Where his father was open and merciful to his enemies, Octavian was calculated and ruthless. He became the first emperor, Augustus, by maintaining a republican mask. He kept the Senate and its rituals intact while holding total, absolute command of the state. The daggers that were meant to end a dictatorship ended up providing the blueprint for a much more durable system. The conspirators hadn't saved the Republic. They had cleared the path for the Roman Empire.